Here comes the Nastygram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. This is Empire's End.
Hi, this is Dean. I'm playing Lieutenant Commander Victor Argus, Operations Officer or Ops.
Hey, I'm John, and I play Lieutenant Commander Poro Randar, callsign Metalhead, Commander of the Air Group or CAG.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt. I play Gaius Loctus Vilfug, and I am the Medical and Personnel Officer, or MED.
Hey everyone, this is Dan. I play Lieutenant Junior Grade Nero Orn, Communications and Intelligence Officer, or COIN.
And I'm Josh, and I'll be your Game Master. This is Episode 5, Digging Deep.
All these hungry and green miles, forget it.
Okay, folks, have a seat. All right, after action report for the Combined Arms engagement in the jungle of Virax 2, 100 clicks northeast from New Kalari. Objective, landing pad and operations base for possible Kalarian resistance force. Enemy composition, full squad of Kalari irregulars, Model 3Z light transport, and various speeders. The assault squad, led by Commander Argus on 2 speeders, were able to maintain the element of surprise thanks to the cap flight provided by Slimo and X. CAG, acting as forward air control, sent his speeder down the ramp of the transport, allowing the commander, Lieutenant Orn, and Marine element to capture the ship, while Captain Cass, the dock, and the other Marine element provided suppressing fire. FAC requested fire for effect on the 2 unoccupied buildings, danger close. Thanks to the good effect on target from Hunter Flight, Cass and the rest of the team were able to breach and clear the remaining building. The CO was recovered and the 3Z transport impounded. A resounding success, a shining example of how to work together in a changing environment. Now, on to lessons learned.
So you're standing there in the doorway, Nero and Dr. Vilfug. Nero, you just got that security to key and open the sealed door. You've heard continuous blaster shots from upstairs, shouting, a couple screams, and all clear maybe in the back of your head. Maybe you realized it, maybe you didn't. It's just been the 2 of you there. Nero working away on the security pad, Dr. Vilfug kind of stepping behind you and drawing his blaster pistol to cover you, as he's seen people do in these kind of scenes.
What a hero.
The door slides open, and inside what is clearly a safe room of a kind. You see shelves on each side, some compartments. You see supplies. You see some empty weapon racks, maybe a couple weapons left behind, and no windows, no other doors. And in the center of it, a sort of modified gurney, to it which is strapped your CO, Commander Hefna. He looks worse for wear, to say the least. His eyes are closed. You're not even sure if he could open them. Black and blue. He's in some sort of evening dress of a kind. And he looks bad but alive. And to the side of him...
Did you say he's in an evening dress?
Evening dress, not an evening dress.
He was at the governor's party.
I thought he was
Those parties get wild.
I was picturing some rhinestones or something like that.
Like a rhinestone cowboy. To the side of him is standing a woman. She's moderately tall, maybe 5'9", 5'10". I'm sorry, Star Wars. She's moderately tall, maybe 1.7, 1.8 meters.
God damn it.
And she has dark hair. She's wearing a simple jumpsuit. You can see that underneath it, she is very fit. She has striking features. Picture her played by Emily Blunt. In one hand, she holds what looks to be a modified heavy blaster pistol. It's cut down, short-barreled, very deadly. And its barrel is pressed up against the temple of your CO. She looks towards Nero and Dr. Vilfug and says, "Stop. Right there."
Nero is... He was sort of down on one knee to actually work on the keypad and plug his own data pad into it. He continues to hold his data pad. He just stands up very slowly with his hands obviously carrying the data pad and nothing else.
Lower the blaster. She looks at you, Wilfog.
Gaius will let the pistol slide down, so he's just kind of holding it up in the air, both hands up.
Randar comes down the stairs. He goes, Nero, the upstairs is clear.
We're at a bit of an impasse, and we're going to make this very quick and very simple. You're all going to get back into that ship. When I see the 7 of you in there and the ramp up, I will leave your commander alive, and I will leave this building.
Argus starts making his way over. What seems to be the issue, gentlemen?
Negotiations, Commander.
I peer in. Argus takes the scene in.
Cass and the Marine that is upright are making their way down the stairs, finishing dead checks. One of the Marine calls out, "Got one alive." Cass stops at the bottom of the stairway and looks towards you.
Vargas motions, gives him a little head nod in towards the room.
You mean Argus?
Who?
Did you say fucking Vargas
He said
again?
Vargas.
You're so fucking fired.
Yeesh.
Wow.
All right. Argus looks at Cass and just gives him a head nod, indicating something's up in the room.
She says, "We will make this quick, or I will make this even quicker. I'm prepared to die for my cause. If you're prepared to give up your CO's life, please draw this out or take more of my time."
Sella Lavar, I presume.
Sorry we haven't been formally introduced. I'm assuming you are the operations officer.
That is correct.
I've heard a good bit about you.
No
Now,
kidding.
This will be the end of this discussion. My finger pulls tight, or you all back out that door in the next 30 seconds. Into that ship, I see 7 of you, including your friend down over there, with a ramp up.
Sella, the conversation doesn't end here, though, does it? What could you possibly gain by dying today? You're familiar with Imperial bureaucracy.
I seek to avoid dying today. That is why I made this offer.
I see.
Otherwise, there wouldn't be one. Your CO would be dead, and at least 1 or 2 of these at the doorway.
Nobody has to die tonight.
Good. This is the only offer.
May I please?
20 seconds by my count.
Right. Could we confirm our CO is alive? I look at my doctor.
Vilfug, you see his chest rising slowly. You think he's drugged just from looking at him. He's hurt, but not in any obviously mortal way. But judging just by what you can observe, you think he's alive and sedated.
For now, sir, but I can't be sure if how long. He looks pretty rough. A closer examination would be preferred.
Right.
10, I think. The more time you waste, the less time you have to see to your CO.
What could you possibly want with this man?
Nothing. 5.
Josh,
Exit this building now.
can I make a... have I ever heard the physical description of Jazir Starfall?
No.
Do I know if it's a man or a woman?
You have heard Jazir Starfall referred to as a he.
Okay.
And on some indications, without any specifics, that he's not human.
Okay. All right. So I assume that this is compartmentalized or different. Like, this is Rebel versus Black Market.
Unless your intel is wrong,
Okay.
you don't think this is Jazir
All
Starfall.
Nero takes a step back just outside of the picture, outside of the doorway frame, and kind of lets...
Stay in sight, please. Do I need to count down?
Then that won't be necessary, Sella. Argus starts to back out.
She, as you guys kind of move off from the doorway, you see her moving the gurney. It's wheeled. It's not even a repulsor lift, but she kind of moves it with the gun against Commander Hathna's head to kind of keep you all in sight
Of course.
as you kind of back through this room.
I just walk back slowly, kind of picking my way through the bodies.
As Gaius backs up, he'll look at Commander Argus and flick his eyes towards the blaster pistol in his hand. Look back towards her as he slowly backs up.
Argus, as you're backing up, picture you guys you're facing this doorway and you're moving back to your left, which is there's one more room to your left and the exit is through there. Argus, you kind of scan your eyes around your companions taking this scene. You see the only person off to your right, the two, are Cass and the Marine. You see them slowly, heel to toe, moving, looking at you, weapons in hand, looking at you,
I
looking
shake
at the
my head
doorway.
no.
You see the weapons start to lower and they start to move away towards the back of the room. As they do, they come in sight of Sella.
I back out. Any visual indicator which is asking to engage is going to be met with a negative from me.
Okay.
At this stage of the game, we have the planet locked down.
The Y-wing that we took over,
The transport.
transport,
The YT.
it was a YT. Sorry,
It wasn't a YT.
yeah, right.
Not every fucking freighter
whatever,
in
it's a
Star Wars
freighter.
is a YT.
All right.
It's a
It's a modified one.
So it was
It's the Serenary Hawk.
You know what sucks? You can't not ever just imagine you're on the Falcon, right?
Yeah, I know.
It sucks. It's always in my head.
can we left it in working order, correct?
The engines are hot.
Okay,
They're literally
all right.
ready to go.
And our ship is currently
One is really damaged.
100 kilometers
and-
away. You
Yeah.
came here on 2 repulsor lifts.
Two
One
skiff.
is destroyed.
right.
One is damaged.
Cool. So she's gonna get in that ship and fly away.
She's gotta come
She's
through
telling
us.
you to get
Get
into
in
the
that
ship,
ship.
shut the ramp.
I see.
Keep moving, please.
Wait, into what ship?
Into
the freighter.
the freighter.
Oh, she's. To be clear, so I can visualize this, I feel like she's. We keyed into a door. We broke in. Shh, it opens. She's got a gun door ahead. Now we're backing away from her.
There's no other way out of the room that she's in.
So she's coming
telling you
towards
to
us.
get. She's slowly moving forward,
And we're walking
With this
backwards.
gurney.
Okay.
gun against Commander Hethna's head.
So right now, her only escape is through the forest.
That's-
we know of.
We don't know.
You don't know.
Right. But that's a safe assumption.
From
Unless
what
she's
you
got
know.
a secret fucking rocket ship. Yes.
Yes, unless this thing is a transformer.
Okay. All right. So I try to make it to the exterior doorway.
She keeps moving out. She keeps herself well covered. As you guys continue to back out, she moves forward. The commander on the gurney is always in between the two of you.
Yep.
And she's always like
She's
halfway
crouched.
behind a door.
Yeah. Okay.
Minimizing the shooting window. She keeps moving forward. She's basically driving the 7 of you guys out.
Makes sense.
Cass kind of gives a nod and confirms with you as you guys get out. He and the other Marine pick up the down Marine, and they pick him up between the two of them and start carrying him out, get out into the compound, and start moving towards the transport. She comes through into the room you guys were just in, into the room you guys first entered. She's at the doorway. The 4 of you are now at the doorway to exit the compound.
And 30 meters behind us is the ship.
Yep, a little bit more. Yeah, about that. 50 meters maybe.
You had said when we first got in there was another transport. Was it a small transport in one of the other buildings, one of the outbuildings? But did we blow that up?
After Randar called in the fury of the gods and the cast strike, that destroyed the 2 other buildings, one of which looked like a smaller storage building, which you hadn't got much of a look at, one which is a bigger utility building. After it was destroyed, you see burning inside the frame is a repulsor lift vehicle.
Having had many years in the Imperial Navy and in the Clone Wars, have I ever heard or has there been any instances where the rebels have rigged a freighter like that to explode, self-destruct because of secrecy or anything like that?
Ships have definitely been set to self-destruct. It's a risk. It's something that probably pops in your mind right now. However, you are also extremely sure that you caught them with their pants down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
This wasn't a trap that they set.
No, they didn't get it. They didn't get what they wanted from this guy yet.
Right.
He has information that's the only reason he's alive. You know?
It's too late. We've seen everything, all of their parts.
I back up the ramp first and get the ship ready.
Who's the last one out of the door of the actual compound?
Me,
The
Argus.
building. Argus. Sella looks at you. Glad we could be reasonable, Commander.
I watch that blaster and hope she doesn't kill me.
She doesn't. She holds it there.
What could you possibly want with this man? I crack her a wry grin, indicating he's incompetent.
I'm sure we'll meet again.
You can count on it.
Is she taking the commander or leaving him with us?
According to the deal she brokered with you, she is not taking him. He is also on a wheeled gurney.
Sure.
So
I get to the cockpit and I call up Hunter Flight. This is Metalhead. Slimo, get ready for a attack run on a fast mover outside of this compound. On my mark.
Roger. Any characteristics? What are we looking at?
I describe the repulsor lift if I see it.
It's destroyed.
Oh, so
Oh, you mean yours?
no. Well, yeah, I guess that's what she's going to
The
be
only
using.
functioning repulsor lift
Yeah.
is the one of the two that you guys came in on. It's banged up and it's literally at the base of this ramp.
Yeah, but that would be the assumption. The only thing she would be able to take out,
Okay.
Unless it's on foot.
All right.
So yeah, I describe the repulsor lift.
Or she has a transformer.
Oh, yeah.
Argus, you back up the ramp, and you see her backlit in the doorway
Mhm.
of the compound. Ramp comes up, and what do you
Ship
guys do?
blows up in the game. Good job, everyone.
Dumb.
Nice work.
Keep visuals on her. Keep her.
Give me the direction that she's leaving.
You hear one of the Marines ran up into the top turret.
Doctor, check on the
She's
commander
She's
right
moving
away.
on foot.
I'm going to run to the front cockpit and spool up the sensors.
Okay.
I'm going to check on the commander.
Okay, so you're gonna reopen the ramp. Ramp drops. It's only been closed for 20 seconds,
It
maybe.
takes time to come up
Yep.
and down, but yeah.
And you look across the clearing. It's the sun is dipping below the tree line, so it's getting dark. Long shadows cast across. Most of the illume comes from the lights of this ship and the still burning wreckage of the utility building and the repulsor craft in the center. Doc, you take yet another run across the middle of this open ground.
Once we're clear, yeah.
And you see nothing except the gurney just inside and the commander strapped down to it.
What? I'll, is it a medicine check? I want to...
Cass, cover the doctor.
Give me a first aid check.
I have Cass cover the doctor.
He follows behind him. You hear the other Marine call down from the turret. Sir, she bolted. She went
On foot?
northeast, A-firm. She exited the compound. I think she moved into the tree line.
Hunter Flight, make that run southwest. She said northeast.
Yep.
Southwest to northeast, making an area attack. Fire for effect.
That's a 22 on first aid.
Shit. Cleared. Roger. I copy. Cleared. Engaged. Tree line.
Tree line outside compound.
Inbound.
Open up on him. I tell up to the Marine as well.
Okay. Matt, you get over to the commander. Cass is right over your shoulder. He actually pushes in past you, kind of re-clears the building, and comes back around. You get down to the commander. You start looking him over. You immediately kind of do a run through. He's hurt, but no severe injuries. Nothing broken. He's bruised. He's banged up. He's beaten, and he's sedated in a sense. You think he's stable. You give him a quick shot of something to pick up his heartbeat a little bit. You're a little concerned about it, and you're pretty confident that he is stable as he is. As you're there working on him, you hear
Hunter Flight, you're cleared hot.
tally target engaging. You just hear trees just shredding.
Exploding.
Jesus.
Two pairs of TIE interceptors come over and just rip up the jungle side. Just trees erupting in flame, cracking, sparking, falling down into the compound, just adding to the chaos of the scene. Certainly could have fucked up someone in there, but it's also thick.
Yeah, maybe,
And
maybe,
wide.
maybe not.
It was a yeah.
Josh, up in the cockpit, I'm going to spool up the sensors and I'm going to start doing sweeps for any sort of energy readings
Okay.
to see if she's making her way to some sort of ship or she's powering some vehicle up in order to make an escape.
Got it. So, by the way, how sensors work, you have a sensor score
Yep, and then ships have them as well, right?
depending on how you're using them.
Yep.
Usually there's a few different, depending on, there's passive, scan, search, and focus.
Okay.
As you go up,
Mm-hmm.
you get a more intense scan, but your radius decreases.
Sure. So I will try to basically put it on the quadrant, like if she's between, west and north or, whatever that kind of.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a sensor scan. Add 1D.
Okay.
Is he trying to pick up her life?
He was looking for energy.
Energy
signals.
readings.
okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
because the
sense.
forest would have
My guess
Been a
is we're not
problem.
going to find her with a life reading.
23.
Okay. You are confident within at least 10 kilometers of that arc, there are no significant power signatures.
I let essentially the sweep run.
Okay.
So if she does turn something on, it'll ping.
Got it.
Victor, this is already hot to go.
All right, let's move. We need to communicate her image. I look to Orn.
Sir?
Let's get the image of that woman to all the local authorities. Just in the event that she comes up for air. I don't imagine she will. She strikes me as being competent.
I have a continuous sweep, sir. She hasn't gotten or powered in any sort of vehicle. She's
Struck out on foot, has she?
She has.
I see.
Dr. Vilfog, Cass comes back up to you after he's cleared the building. He's kind of just been sitting by the doorway, posting up security. He says, Doc, what's up with the CO? Is he good?
Alive, sedated. Nothing
You wanna-
serious. Let's get him back to the ship.
Does he need to get back to the station? What's his condition? You tell me, Doc.
He does. I don't exactly have what I need to treat him here.
You're not too concerned about his life being in immediate danger, but you would be more comfortable with him. I mean, he's banged up bad.
And if I'm not mistaken, Josh, we need to. The only way to transport him back to Reiko Infirmary would be the ship we're in right now. The only ship we have
No, we had the shuttle
You got
at,
the
at,
shuttle.
Oh, that's
at
right.
spaceport.
at the spaceport, which is how far?
100
You-
kilometers.
Okay.
Cass and the doc come up the ramp with this gurney with the CO strapped to it.
I'm kind of working away at the communications, and I kind of pause and I turn to you and I say, sir, before we put out this APB, is there any value in keeping this close, perhaps, to try to find her partner, Otto Karun? It may spook him.
Metalhead, Slimu.
Go ahead.
Roger, I got a comm coming in from Nucleary 1 spaceport, relayed from NCC, Imperial Army, asking if we require assistance. I think they picked up our runs.
Tell them. I look at Victor.
Shakes his head no.
Tell them negative. We have it handled.
Roger. Comm relay from Nuclear 1. Major Stromwell will be available to meet with Commander Argus at convenience on site or back in Nuclear.
Verified. And Hunter Fly, be aware this freighter will be taking off shortly from the compound. Will be friendly.
Roger, we'll cover you top and behind.
Why don't we leave one of you behind to make sure nothing comes out of that forest?
So I'll copy. Cass looks at you, Argus, and he says, sir, what about the site?
Well, we should probably secure this site, see if there's any valuable intelligence here. But we also have a woman that could provide a lot of her own intelligence running through that jungle. I don't know if we're really equipped to go after her, to be frank. What do you think, Cass?
Yeah, I don't think we can go after with what we have, but I don't want to give this place up, whatever might be here. At the minimum, you can leave me and my 2 Marines. We'll keep this locked down until you can send some follow on. But he looks over at the doc and Nero and says, some of your eyes might be helpful.
I agree with that, Cass. We definitely want to see if we have anything valuable here.
Light's going down. We'll just make sure nobody, we don't get any company before dawn.
I would like to check if they keep security footage of their base.
You may be linking up with NCC assets as well. I'm not sure. Perhaps Major Strumwell will want to send some reinforcements your way, Cass.
We made a lot of noise. If they got company and they come knocking, I mean, we can make do with 3.
Remind me
Use
what
more.
NCC stands for.
Nuclear Constabulary.
I knew it.
Say it.
Nope.
Say it.
Not going to say it.
You're British. You should be able to say it.
Yeah, right? Constabulary.
There you go. There you go.
Had to-
Aluminium's great.
Yeah. I had to channel
What
my inner English.
color is the aluminium on the constabulary's
The rain in-
uniform?
Spain falls mainly on the plain. Call me Pygmalion.
All right, so you guys taking off. You're leaving Cass and his 2 guys here.
We definitely don't want to pass up the opportunity to get intelligence that might be here for sure. This is clearly some sort of rebel stronghold. I don't think this is piracy. Pirates would have had I don't think this woman's a pirate. I think she's a rebel operative. She's too clean for piracy, I think. But yeah, we would like to see if we can leave him behind. Ultimately, we want, I'm assuming, maybe not NCC elements, but maybe rather Stromwell can link up with Cass. But we're going to talk to Stromwell directly.
Okay.
I would guess soon, since there is an issue on the planet. His guys should know about it. There are rebels running around blowing shit up.
In terms of assets from CAG, I'm going to leave at least a 2 rotation of TIE interceptors over the area for Cass. I'm also going to leave the shuttle with them, so if they need to exfiltrate, I do like an emergency exfiltration, they can call in the shuttle to pull them out.
Okay, got it. So you guys are going to take the freighter you guys are on and go straight back to Reiko?
Yes.
Or no, or are you going to meet with Stromwell?
Oh, okay. We can meet in person or via comm, whatever. If the meeting in person makes more sense, we'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do that then. We'll go to the spaceport, and then from there, I'll probably get in my TIE fighter or TIE
Kick somebody out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. You get back there then. You dump out one of your pilots. You hop up in a TIE. The shuttle maybe takes off, goes out to site, drops off the other 2 Marines, and kind of stays loitering. The Lambas are pretty well equipped.
Yeah.
They're well shielded. They're well armed. They can take care of themselves, and you could leave a couple interceptors circling with it as you guys handle your business at the station. So you're landed on another pad, and you see the Lamba
En route over, Argus tells Orn, perhaps you're right. Perhaps we keep Sela. Is it Sela or Sela?
Sela.
Perhaps we keep Sela's image to ourselves for now, and we don't release it to the NCC.
A smart play, Commander.
Your play. If we could use it as some sort of gambit on her partner, whom we need to find as soon as possible.
Agreed. The security footage at the base, if they have any, may reveal his identity.
I'm sure if they do, Cass will tell us soon. Doctor, I'm guessing we don't want to take any risks with the commander. Let's get him back to the infirmary right away.
Sir, right away.
So we have him all hooked up, fucking IVs, and we're just landing now.
Okay.
This is where Matt and Dean pass a nastygram between one another and make him into a vegetable. And Dean takes over the world.
A vegetable.
Arugula.
And to a quick recap, Randar, take a character point for Inspires Through Action.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And again, if anybody, don't forget to call those out as they come around. And actually, Dean, I'm going to throw one to you as well for your
damn.
bond with Nero, Untapped Potential. kind of giving a nod to the most junior guy here for his out of the box thinking.
Thank you.
Your newfound freighter slowly settles down on the pad. I'm assuming Randar's obviously at the helm.
Yep.
At the controls, whatever the fuck you call it in Star Wars. And you guys land. Within a few minutes, you see 3 craft approaching.
Strike craft.
Yes.
Skip ray blast boats.
B-Wings.
B-wings. Oh no. Shit.
2 look to be the same. I think I described them as Land Rovers of New Calari.
Yeah.
These NCC vehicles they have a auto blaster turret mount. They look like they can transport half a squad or so. Pretty rugged vehicles, and alongside them, kind of in formation, is a Imperial Army repulsor lift craft. The 3 of them sit down in the kind of clearing in front of the starport. There's kind of this big dusty cul-de-sac where the limited traffic that this place sees coming in and out approaches from. And the ramp comes down. You see a few troopers kind of make their way out. They all look dirty. They look like they're coming from the field. And behind them, with his carbine, he slings it as he comes out. You see a somewhat older, maybe around 40 or so, in a trooper's uniform. You see the subdued field rank of a major. And he makes his way down. Dean Argus, at least, and maybe some of the others of you have met this man once. This is Commander Serwyn Stromwell. I'm sorry, this is Major Serwyn Stromwell, Army. He's equivalent rank of Argus and Randar, Army to Navy conversion. He came through the station a couple months ago as he was moving down to VRX2 to assume his post.
So he's pretty new on campus.
Correct. He's new in town.
Fitness reports are satisfactory.
You probably didn't have any.
Didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know if I heard it through the grapevine or something. No.
Struck you as fairly professional. Pretty cut and dry. Probably didn't have any kind of lingering engagement with him.
Last time I met him, I was an ops operator.
Yep.
It's funny.
Yep.
Is he the in the Imperial garrison under the governor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yep.
Stromwell here is the commander of the Imperial Army Detachment. So
Got
he
it.
is essentially the only other significant Imperial presence in the entire VRX system.
Got it.
And he is directly under Governor Redmar.
The Admiral Chamfers is outside of the system.
Admiral Chamfers,
Sector
yes,
command.
he's
Sector,
sector
yeah.
command.
That guy's a big shit.
Yep.
TIE fighter, human meat shield.
Yeah.
I walk down the ramp. Argus walks down the ramp and cracks a grin over in Stromwell's direction, and I approach him.
He comes right over to you. You see, they all have kind of smeared and sweat run cami paint on their faces, dirt, grime. They look like they've been out in it for a bit. None of them look hurt or anything. Stromwell walks right up to you and puts his hand out.
I shake his hand. Major,
August, good to see you.
good to see you too. First, let me apologize. Redmare may be in a bit of a mood.
He kind of smirks and looks down. Oh, good. I'll know who to thank for that. What seems to be
I say field exercises, and I point to like their appearance.
yes. Finally getting in some time with the NCC. I'm sorry. We were out and we got a couple comms at once from the governor pushing us to render assistance along with some other traffic. And then some word of ties making gun runs north of here. Everything all right?
Well, we've run into some issues here, Major.
Let me cut to the point. Governor mentioned it. Your CO recovered?
Yes.
Good.
He is being he's going to be transported to the infirmary momentarily. Wait, because he's with us still.
Yes.
So you guys are like at the base of the ramp of your ship.
I see.
He made his way over to you. He turns to the, a few troopers that are with him. He says, "Gentlemen, give us a couple minutes. Back to the craft. We'll head back to barracks soon. Thank you." They kind of give a quick salute and head back over to their craft. So it's just him standing there along with you all. He says, "All right, what happened?"
Well, the commander was indulging himself at the Titus at Governor Redmare's event, and he did not report for several hours. And we declared him missing, and we dispatched Marines to find out where he was. And we tracked him to some sort of installation that has been set up in the middle of the jungle. Coordinates are here. I hand him the data pad. We have Marines in that position now. They've secured it. They're looking for any valuable intelligence that they can find. We believe this is rebel operatives. Does the name Sella ring a bell?
Rebels.
That's what I think.
Interesting. Do your men need assistance out there?
Yes. The point of contact is Captain Cass.
Captain Cass. Roger. Give me one moment. Sergeant Singh, come here. Sergeant runs over. You see him kind of impart some info, and he runs back over, and you see a couple of the Imperial Army guys jump onto one of the NCC craft and take off. And Stremel comes back over. He says, "There's another one of our vehicles coming up from the barracks. They're going to rendezvous and head out to the site and help secure it until dawn."
Excellent. Just a moment, Major. Cass, this is Argus.
It takes a few minutes. You guys are out of comlink range, so it has to get patched
Little relay.
through the ties. So it's there's a little bit of a delay. It's a little broken. Go for TAC.
You have Imperial Army assets inbound to you. ETA, 45 minutes.
Copy. Use the company. This is not a quiet jungle.
Roger that, Cass. Argus out.
TAC out. Stremel walks back up. All right. Well, rebels.
I cannot confirm that they are in fact rebels, Major, but that is my opinion. I don't think this is the work of piracy. I think they were trying to get information from him, but I'm not sure. We found him. He was strapped on a gurney. The woman had what appeared to be a modified DL-44 to his head. She seemed fit, competent, not quite pirate sea material.
They're well armed and equipped. I kind of nod over to this freighter.
Understood. Well, this isn't usually the way I like to do business, but we need to get a little quick and dirty to get some things out there. So I'm just going to give you some initial impressions. I haven't been here that long. I just came into the system less than 8 weeks ago. The previous command had been, well, pretty much on sentry duty, following governor's orders. I was able to convince the governor to open things up a little bit, push a little bit more embedding with the NCC. And I'll tell you what I know. Very little. What I'm told, even less. There's something going on that the NCC are not fully letting us in. We've had some run-ins. I lost 2 troopers a week ago in an ambush. A routine sweep embedded with NCC. We've been on raids and hits with them. The NCC are fairly competent from what I've seen.
Good.
The story's always the same, or close to it. It's pirates, criminals, smugglers, poachers. But I'll tell you where it just came from. We did a 2-day operation 70 kilometers northeast of here. I don't know what information the NCC was going off, but it wasn't any we had. We were tagging along, and we had to push for that. There was an entire encampment, a training camp, if I can be so bold as to make the assessment. Not one piece of metal, all wood construction, wood and earth, nothing that would show up on sensors. Barracks, dug in, training grounds, could have housed 50 easily, abandoned. In these sweeps, can't say I've seen anything that clear, but two things I'm confident to assess of Virax 2, New Calari. There's a lot more people on this planet than we think there are. 4 out of 5 of these settlements or compounds or isolated positions we've come across, they're not on any kind of census or report. There's no way to pick them up. Most of them, I think, are just these individuals living off the land on their own. There are some distribution centers of a kind, but there's something else going on, and something the NCC, I don't know. I don't know if it's something they're covering up, but they're not being forthcoming. That was a camp. That was not a pirate encampment. And what you're describing, it's another piece in the puzzle.
Sounds like what I'm describing you've come across multiple times.
Never quite, we didn't catch them with their pants down as you seem to.
We got lucky, Major.
Sir, I do believe we have one of them alive.
Excellent. Did you notice that most of them were New Calari?
You didn't take him.
I thought Cass did.
Casting the Marine were carrying the wounded Marine.
Got it.
I mean, he's still out there.
But, I mean, Cass is still out there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He might still be alive.
Okay. I mean, so there may be one still
There
alive.
definitely could be. Yep. You do not have him with you.
Okay.
But he is on the site.
Just a quick question. Mostly on that fight were New Calari, correct?
Yes.
No humans at all?
There was a human on the ship. And that was it.
In her.
And her. She is also human.
In any of your encounters, Major, were there humans?
We've only had one, what I would call direct contact. And I'm slightly ashamed to say we did not inflict any confirmable casualties.
That was the ambush.
Correct. We're spread thin. And I'll offer the assistance we can.
It's the Arif sector motto, isn't it? Spread thin.
Going to be a bit thinner. The governor has demanded protection at his compound be reinforced to a platoon.
Have you heard about the loss at Endor?
He looks at you. He says, Endor.
A system the Empire was fighting over. We took some casualties. His men have been dispatched. I'm sorry. Out of game. It's only him.
A couple of his guys took off with some
That's
New
right.
Calari and we're going to rendezvous with another ship.
Okay.
So the remaining craft are waiting for him, but they're not holding up your reinforcements.
I kind of step forward. I say, Commander Rogus,
Yes.
if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to check in with Reiko Station.
By all means.
Nero walks up the ramp and into the shuttle, and he's going to try to make contact with the Reiko Station and just get a check-in with his
Roy.
with Triald and with Marius Drayson. About any chatter that might be going on Reiko Station while we've been down here.
Okay. So when you would instruct them to pay particular attention to the engineering division comms.
Yep.
Hard point to hard point.
And we'd also set up the trap.
Right. And that was, you put materials in a container that you were saying were fuel from Kuiper.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
And we kind of left the door open for another one of those energy spikes. And it was going to then trace it back.
Got it. Okay.
So that doesn't have to happen right now, but that's kind of Nero's, while he's with the communications package that's on the shuttle, he's just going to go up there and make contact.
Okay. We'll deal with that in a minute.
Sure.
Major, do you believe, and I understand that you're not exactly sure, you've only been here 8 weeks, but in that short time, do you feel like there's some sort of resistance brewing on this planet that is not fond of our presence here?
There's something on this planet, some forces that are not in line with the NCC, and not in line with the Empire. That's all I can say with confidence.
My guess would be that it's mostly New Calari themselves. They seem to be the lion's share of the beings that we're encountering out here that are offering resistance. But it's my guess, Sella, another human we encountered, we know of at least 2 down here. There are many different species that are sympathetic to the rebellion. But we know who runs the rebellion, don't we?
Yes. Well, and I will say, I have my reservations about the NCC. Nothing I can substantiate, but I'm confident that they are withholding at best.
Which means that if there is an element of rebellion here, then their jobs are not going to prevent them from doing what they think is the right thing to do. Perhaps they have sympathizers on the NCC. Perhaps
spies.
Perhaps spies. Perhaps they've been compromised. It seems that we've got a big open wound on VRX2, and I aim to stitch it up one way or the other.
Well, let's hope that we can get the NCC pivoted a bit. They outnumber the Imperial Army detachment, as gracious as that it might be a term from my command here. They outnumber us 4-1.
Our complement, I point to the sky, 225 that I can account for. We have 560. We're vastly outnumbered here. Not a common theme when you're serving for the Empire, is it?
No. We make do, though.
We make do.
I've pushed a couple requests up for reinforcement. Nothing back, but I will...
To Chomfers.
Yes. Through my chain, it will lead up to him eventually.
Good luck.
Well, thank you. I think with this write-up, recent events, perhaps we can do this together. I think if we put this the right way, it'll be obvious that this sector needs additional resources.
Can I make a perception check on the Major and see if he would be the type of guy who would be interested in any skullduggery if it got him more shit? Meaning, I kind of want to tell him don't be afraid to embellish his reports without exposing myself.
Got it.
3 plus 2 if I need it, but if you need command,
we beat our head against the wall a little bit trying to find the right skill for like a sense motive, right?
It's probably perception.
But it should be a sub-skill in perception.
I agree with you.
There's investigate, there's search, there's nothing really I love.
It should be investigate. If it's people, search if it's things.
I guess so. Investigate covers more, but we can say it covers this too. So we used investigate last time, we'll use it now. So go ahead, give me a roll there.
Sure. I have 4 dice plus 2 pips.
Wow. All right, roll that. While you're doing that, Matt, you've had more time with the CO. Why don't you gave me a first aid roll. You only have your med kit, but you're been doing a little bit more long-term or a more comprehensive sweep. Give me a medicine check on Commander Hethna.
Aye.
I rolled a 15, Josh.
A 15. Okay.
Moderate success.
Moderate, verging on difficult. On the cusp.
That's right.
You get the sense that Commander Hethna is pretty by the book.
Okay. I keep it to myself.
Okay.
It's 23.
Okay. There's something abnormal that is affecting Commander Hethna's vitals beyond a simple sedative that you're aware of.
This game's going to turn into the fucking thing. Client.
Okay.
You don't have the tools, the resources you need, but the signs that you thought, slow breathing, slow pulse, body temperature, a few things that you kind of passed off to, they must have stuck him with something. You don't think they did, but you think there's something that is affecting his biology right now. It's making you a little bit more prickly to take a more thorough look at him.
But it doesn't seem like it's critical at this time.
His condition doesn't seem to be worsening. No.
Okay.
It just concerns you that you realize that you were incorrect about what was causing his condition or contributing to his condition.
Okay. Am I in the same room as Commander Argus, or are they elsewhere?
You're within height. I'm sorry. You're within hearing. You are at the top of the ramp. This is a pretty small ship, and basically the ramp leads right up into the cargo hold, and that was kind of the easiest place you had to kind of get him secured. So you're overhearing all of this, and you could easily raise your voice or take a few steps down the ramp and join the conversation.
Yeah, I'll loudly sort of walk down the ramp to make my presence known. Sir, Commander Argus, there's
Yes, Doctor.
something with the commander that doesn't make sense. It's
Doesn't
imperative
make
that we
sense.
get him back to the station as soon as possible.
Roger that.
It's not critical, but I was wrong in my
Major?
initial assessment.
Very well. Major. I'll be in touch.
Commander?
Good luck.
And Major, in light of all these things, it may be more imperative to guard the fuel than guard the governor.
Understood. I'm under orders. I can do the best I can with the resources I have at hand.
Those
Yeah.
ties will be on station for. And look at the time. Another 2 hours.
Once you're back on Reiko, let's be in touch on setting up this request after action, and also however you want to proceed at this compound. I can offer you whatever support you'd like, and we should discuss the next steps forward with the NCC.
Very well.
Good luck. Glad you got your man back.
We quickly file back onto the Lambda-class shuttle,
You mean the freighter?
the freighter.
Yes,
The
the
Lambda's out.
The stolen... Yeah, that's right. That's what Cass has.
I get into. Do you? I assume one of you knows how to pilot a starship.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know what they say about assuming?
Argus does. I don't know that
Nope.
Nero.
I'm a
Victor,
pretty
can you
decent-
take this bucket back to
I'm a
the
pretty decent
Reiko?
pilot. Of course. I sit down in the cockpit.
All right, I'll follow you on the tie.
You're like a boss that hasn't got to use the equipment for like a while and kind of gets like a little excited, like, we use the forklift, huh? All right.
Just tie over the shoulder.
kind of looking around, making sure the other guys in the warehouse see the guy with the tie on the forklift. Like, oh, no, I got it.
Takes
I
the
got
suit
it.
jacket off, hangs it up over there.
5 dice starship fucking space transports.
Yeah,
That's not
there you
too
go.
fucking expert.
All right. Nice. Okay.
I lift that sucker off. I go through my pre-flight, check all my doohickeys and whatnots.
Nice. All right. You lift off. You take a section two of the TIE interceptors back. The other two are going to be running low on fuel.
Yeah.
So they definitely can't stay out here overnight. Being in an atmosphere burns up a lot more than being in space. So you've got, if you want to keep anything on station, you're going to have to call for another section of TIE fighters to go out and relieve them.
So as we are heading out, me and X are the section leaving, and then I'm leaving. Dosh, Limo, and Kung. Dosh took the Lambda out. I'll let them know. I mean, in terms of Star Wars, it's all pretty visual. So TIE Interceptor operations at night is probably not super effective. So it might be just a waste of fuel to have them out there. So as they leave, I'll order them to leave when they're low fuel and send the TIE fighters down to the spaceport and be on ready action in case they're needed.
Got it. Okay. So you sent two TIE fighters?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys, Randar, you manage that as you're on your way back. Dan, you get communications back, or get a full report. Maybe neither of them, Senior Chief Triald or Drayson were in the CIC.
They're dead?
Because they're
Because they got murdered?
They send you a report, 0 questionable traffic and engineering section. No confirmed hits on
Okay.
whatever you probably came up with some kind of code word for the bait.
Yep.
And that's all you get.
Okay. The next thing that I'd like to do while I'm probably in a communication center is I want to take a look at what's the name of this? Virax, right?
2.
Virax 2. I want to take a look at the map of Virax 2 and where the rebel base was. And then
Whoa.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And if I could use my planetary systems to figure out in terms of a radius where I think someone on foot could reach, and then likely areas, that may have terrain in their favor or something like that, based on what the Major has just said about wooden structures, about where some likely spots could be.
Without even rolling,
Mm-hmm.
if what he's saying is true, there could be untold numbers
Okay.
of sites. You already knew, even from like the official reports, there's all sorts of small like
Communities,
homesteads,
sure.
communities, a single family, half a dozen families, over here, 20 families, and some that have kind of developed a little bit more to the point where they're kind of towns, a lot that are just kind of remote that either come in to get resupply or there are resupplies that come out. Most of them that are semi-self-sufficient. This is a extremely rich in natural resources. People can farm, hunt, etc. There's some other resources that the planet has been generating that you haven't dug into too much.
Can I look at it maybe?
So anyway,
Yep.
long story short, to your answer, there's nothing obvious.
Sure.
There's any number of options.
Okay.
There is no known settlement within 20 kilometers of that spot.
Okay.
That in and of itself is borderline unusual. Like, it makes you think that, this close to the quote unquote capital, to the single main city on this planet, you're only 100 kilometers away.
Right.
That's far in a sense, but it's a whole fucking planet.
Mm-hmm.
So to be within 100 kilometers in a spot that there's nothing else established within 20, seems a little deliberate in and of itself.
Meaning maybe they're trying to distract us from something else on the planet.
Or this spot was deliberately chosen because
it's close.
Close and yet not a lot around it.
Yeah.
From another perspective, and this could be ongoing, but knowing that
And sorry to interrupt,
Sure.
but one thing to add on to this, and this is some of this you guys know immediately, some of it you'll kind of come to know as you dig into it a bit more. This is about the closest that you could reliably get a craft with a competent pilot in and out of without alerting New Calais Spaceport.
Okay.
If you came in over the horizon, made entry into the atmosphere further away, you could get in and out of this compound in a ship, just happened. Like, that ship would not have shown up on sensors unless your interceptors had been up there.
Gotcha.
as maybe something I could do that's ongoing, or maybe something that I can do piggybacking off of any sweeps that Randar is conducting, is trying to think of what these bases might have in common that I could look for, which is maybe some sort of comm signal if they are communicating with each other. Was there any sort of communications during, I know it was kind of crazy when we crashed that place.
Nothing that you
There's no weird watchtower with the guy with the binoculars looking for ships.
There was a giant signal fire.
Okay, cool.
That was
Yeah,
lit.
That was okay. That stands out.
Just that. And then it was weird because on like the next rise over, another one lit up.
Got it.
And then like a rise
so it's like
further.
a trail.
Yeah.
We can follow. Okay.
Maybe on the dawn of the third day,
Yeah, right.
you might know something more.
Perfect. Okay.
So just to recap, because that was a lot, there's this base, 20 nothing within 20 kilometers of said base.
Yep.
The major is coming to determine that there are many more settlements than we were originally thought to have.
There are many more that are on any official record, suspicious and non-suspicious alike.
Right. Could be a combination of poor bookkeeping because it's a young colony. Could also be kind of sketchy. And so the trick would be, if it is suspicious, why? What's there to gain from keeping that deception? Does it affect some sort of tax or income? It doesn't necessarily equate to rebellion nonsense.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
And it also, from what he told you, basically, nobody in the Empire has been pulling this thread until his arrival, from best he can tell. Essentially, the governor doesn't seem that interested in it, and whoever his predecessor was pretty much just followed the governor's instructions.
But that said, they could also be a bunch of settlements off the grid, which are acting in concert to one another while they create some sort of gigantic resistance army, or many different terrorist cells are being trained out here in the boonies.
Yes.
That's a possibility.
Yes. There's the two extremes
Yes.
are,
Incompetence.
American Wild West,
Sure.
of just kind of, or at least our common picture of it.
Yeah.
Right. Just homesteaders and settlers all over the place doing
Yep.
their own fucking
Having
thing.
in harmony with everything.
That's
fine.
on one end. On the other end is Dune.
Understand.
And the fucking Fremen are about ready to take Arrakis.
Shai Halud. All right. I will. Okay. So Argus, once we get back to the ship, Argus is going to sit down with Lieutenant Shauna Seslin. That's my, I guess, number one.
Yep.
Is that a woman or a man?
That is a woman.
Okay. Lieutenant Seslin, come in, sit down.
She walks in your what office are you occupying?
The ops office.
Okay.
Yeah. I went down to meet her in ops.
Okay. She was probably along with Roy helping to run the station while you were gone.
Makes sense. Then wherever's fine.
Okay.
Wherever makes sense. I say, I believe we have some probe droids. I would like to start utilizing those probe droids. We don't know as much about VRX2 as we think we do. I know we have many droids on this station. I'd like to see if we can get just a bit of visual reconnaissance. This is not anything I expect to be done or completed immediately, but I would like to start cataloging surface imagery of the planet as much as we can. Starship fuel we don't have. Droid fuel we do.
Of VRX2, sir?
Yes.
Okay. She gives a slight indication of fighting an eye roll as she says, understand, sir, that Lieutenant Orn has jurisdiction over the probe droids unless you can write me a command overriding that.
I pick up my data pad, I write it, and I hand it to her.
Thank you, sir.
I want to get as much imagery from these droids as possible. The reason being, we have many more nucleary, many nucleary settlements out there that just are not cataloged. We also came across, well, a bit of resistance on the planet, you could say. I'd like to know what we're up against, and we can't keep flying caps over.
I heard a bit of the chatter, sir, from Hunter Flight. I understand the CO's back.
He is in the infirmary. He has not regained consciousness.
May I ask for clear instruction on current chain of command? Are you in command of the station, sir?
That's correct. That's the other reason I wanted you down here today. Congratulations, Seslin. You're now running ops.
Okay, sir. Well, in that case, sir, I would I would like to remove Lieutenant Savin from command of the Phalanx, put her in charge of the deck, and I'd like to have Lieutenant Vreeland be my alpha for ops.
Uncomfortable with Savin because of the recent blunder?
I think he could do with a change of perspective. I think maybe he made a mistake, but he needs to keep his mind busy and find a way to build off that. And he's not doing anything taking care of a wounded bird right now. And on top of that, I trust Valen more to help me keep this thing running as you've set up, sir.
By all means. I trust your opinion. Anything else you need from me, Ceslin?
Negative. The Andrelli Hunter, our other Corvette, is we're maintaining a 15-minute ready on that.
Perfect. Things are about to get very interesting around here, Ceslin.
They already are, sir.
Dismissed.
She clicks her heels and heads out.
I'm going to meet up with Nero
Okay.
after I debrief the...
I love it when a PC wants to talk to another PC.
Yeah.
I can fucking
Do nothing,
sit back
take a
and
break.
sip my soda for a second.
Oh, shit, right?
Still in the flight suit now, like grease all over because I was getting the ship kind of turned down. Nero.
Commander Randar, you wish to see me?
Yeah, that compound. I was thinking about it. After looking at the scope from the spaceport, anything that wanted to get in there, any spaceship, any starship, transport, as long as it came from the right angle, it wouldn't have been caught on sensors. I'm wondering if that is one of their main entry points.
The perimeter of the sensor sweep from the station?
Yes.
It's worth looking into.
I'm wondering if there's a way for us to get better eyes on the rest of the planet. Who knows if they have any more of these compounds with landing pads.
I was able to requisition a number of prodropes for our time here at Virax. We'll have to run it by the commander, but I am sure he is eager to see what's going on down there. The question becomes, what are they hiding?
If
And
they're
for what purpose?
if they're running freighters into the middle of the woods, and it's been under our noses for who knows how long, there could be any number of arms and equipment. And if what the major is saying is said is true, and they're training these Kaleri, then they have a veritable armory. Could have hidden away somewhere in the woods.
You think the Kaleri are so split as to support the rebels while asking for Imperial assistance?
Well, it's not that they... the Imperial request, I think, came more from Kuiper Corporation than the people of New Kaleri themselves.
Objection. Hearsay, Your Honor. Leading the witness.
We have to wonder if there is a resource, one we're unaware of, something that the Kaleri have held from us.
If you were forming a rebellion on a planet covered in jungle with a single major city, major starport, how would you go about it?
I'd operate underground. Nero shrugs his shoulders. Well, I'm going to have a look at those probes, see what sort of sensor capabilities they came with, and whether or not they need any modifying before we put them into the actual atmosphere.
I think we also need to look at the NCC. I think the Major's confidence in them is a bit too high. I'm worried that a good portion of them are sympathizers. We're training our own demise with them.
Perhaps. The issue is, while aboard Reiko Station, we are detached from these people. We need to spend more time planetside.
Radar nods.
Well, sir, if that's all, I'll get to work.
Thanks, Nero.
Of course.
Argus is in his office, having recently talked to Ceslin. He just has this clicker in his hand, and he's clicking through frames of nose cam footage.
Nice.
I'm looking at it.
picturing Mulder in the office clicking through the slide projector.
Exactly, something big like that. And he's looking at a sensor. He looks at his chronometer that's on his watch. That's for you, Matthew. His chronometer or his.
Thanks.
I'm looking at my chronometer with a.
It's got transparent steel on the front of it.
Fucking asshole. with a data pad, and I'm clicking it, running it, click, click, writing down times, and just logging the gross overuse of speed in this approach and all this stuff.
You're looking at the approach of the Phalanx 2. Okay, that was that thing we talked about, the Phalanx 2 being damaged.
Right.
What your second just brought up.
Well, I just have a couple stones still that I guess I've got a couple of what am I trying to say? Too many fucking fires in the irons in the fire, and I'm just trying to sort out a couple things I left unturned. So he does that for a little while. He has a little report written up, and then I sit there and I'm listening to a little bit of Carillion opera, and I light up a death stick, and I reduce illumination by about 40% in the room.
Getting romantic.
All right.
And I just lean back and think about this brewing rebellion.
Cut to Medbay. Dr. Vilfug, you've got Commander Hethna in your kind of primary surgical bed. Your main assistant, Lieutenant Harper, is with you. She is not a full medical doctor, but she's basically kind of a high-end trauma / full spectrum paramedic. Extremely well trained and probably has more time in military service than you do, but not as connected. You assumed a rank a little bit quicker, but she's very respectful of you. She definitely appreciates your knowledge and skill, and you appreciate her resourcefulness. So the two of you are there. You have Commander Hethna. You have him hooked up to some sensors, some life support. You get some fluids in him. You get him stripped, check for injuries, things like that. See if Emily maybe stuck something in him. You know what I mean? You start running some scans, and something just isn't adding up. His brain function and his more obvious vitals, pulse, breathing, body temperature, don't correlate. Neither of them appear critical on their own, but it's as if his brain is doing one thing and his body is doing another.
Okay.
Harper says, Doctor, I don't understand what's going on here. I'm not getting linkage from the cortex. What's happening here?
This is a first for me. I don't think I've seen this before.
Should we run him through a full scan? I don't see any contraindications that the scan would be of any harm. I think he's stable, but I think we need to find out more, Doctor. Unless you understand what's happening here.
I don't. I agree. A full scan right away.
All right.
Perhaps we should. What's the Star Warsy word for dialysis?
Make it up.
Space dialysis.
Hemoclensification.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Jesus.
You get him hooked up and run through, something that probably looks similar to a CAT scan in a sense. Full body passes through. He hasn't regained consciousness. His vitals don't seem to have changed at all. And it takes a bit, maybe an hour or so, until you're looking at this screen. It's just black with a green image. And it's basically kind of the pattern of his body. It kind of goes through it. You see the skeletal structure map out, kind of overlays, blinks, adds circulatory. And when you get to major organs, there's in this, green on black, there's a red ping flashing towards kind of the base of his skull. And you pull your hand up and you enhance and you zoom in. And Tenna Harper says, "What in the hell is that? Is that an organism?" You zoom in a little bit more, run a couple filters, and you see what seems to be a 4 to 6 inch long, thin, spindly creature that is wrapped around Commander Hefna's brainstem.
I'm hungry now. For some spaghetti.
And that is where we'll leave off.
Yeah,
That's a good sign, right?
yeah, that's a hard pass.
Yeah,
for
that's
us
a no.
on the.
They
on
killed
the-
12 of my people.
Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Nastagram. We hope you're enjoying Empire's End. You know the deal. We're going to ask you to spread the word, tell a friend, post about it online, do whatever you can, ratings, review, everything helps. And get involved. Got a great community over at Facebook at the Nastagram RPG Lounge, or just pop over onto the website, nastagrampod.com, links to all our socials, and bonus content and more coming soon. Our intro music, as always, is by a Wilhelm Scream. Scores this arc are from both Adrian von Ziegler and Antti Marttikainen. We'll be back with another episode next week. Why don't you bring a friend?
That's nasty.